Number one, no surprise, the team you'd least want to face. It's the Golden State Warriors. They probably shouldn't even be included in the play-in race right now. They're the 6th seed, 3 back from the Rockets, who have lost 11 of 16 games, 3.5 back from the Grizzlies, who've lost 4 in a row. Ja Morant complaining about shoulder issues as well, so that doesn't seem to be getting better. They have a 12.5 net rating, 3rd best in the NBA behind the Cavs and the Pistons, ever since they got Jimmy Butler and Steph in these games. Tom, one of my worst takes of the year earlier this season, as I said, looks like Steph is showing signs of decline. Last 12 games, 30.3 points, 50, 40, 90. Steph looks all the way back. I didn't know if he had this in him. He clearly has this in him. He looks absolutely incredible, and he did again on Thursday as well.
Yeah, you said it on X, and I had it in my notes. And the shots that he made against Brooklyn were some of the craziest shots he's hit in his career. I mean, the half-court shot, the one where I think my favorite one was this, like in the second quarter, he had this runner in the lane where he came across and he hit a bank shot off of his left foot going to his left.
God.
It was like he was flying this way, out of bounds. He took a shot off his left foot and banked it with the perfect touch. And I'm just sitting here like, that's a circus shot. It probably isn't even going to hit the highlight reel, but the level of difficulty on that is crazy. And then the touch around the basket, Jimmy Butler, when he's on the floor without Steph, they've done such a good job of basically maintaining leads. And I think he's plus 28 with Luka, not Luka Doncic, man, that would be pretty crazy. Stephen Curry off the floor and Jimmy Butler on the floor with like about 100 minutes without Stephen Curry. And that's huge. The fact that they can basically have one star, a go-to scorer, an alpha scorer, no matter when the game is, that's a huge advantage compared to what they had with Andrew Wiggins. And Stephen Curry, man, yeah, I wrote it down too. 30.3 points in his last 12 games, 51% shooting, 44% shooting from 3, and 90%. So he's 50, 40, 90, like you said. But this is peak Stephen Curry. We're seeing peak Stephen Curry, peak LeBron James, and they're both supposed to be in the twilight of their careers, Kev. This is insane.
It's nuts. And I think with Steph, you mentioned that leaning finish and some of the layups and the touch and all that. The thing with Steph earlier in the year that worried me, is he wasn't getting to the rim he wasn't getting to the rim as often. He wasn't finishing as well at the rim, and that might have been due to the knee issue he was dealing with. But ever since, like the last 12 games, 69% in the restricted area, up from 60%, 61% from mid-range, up from 45%, 44% from 3, up from 39%. Like you said, he's looking like peak Steph, looking like top 5 Steph. There's just no signs of decline. He looks like full-on Stephen Curry. Like, there's nothing else to say. That's what he looks like. And if he looks like this, and in this game, you mentioned Butler in the minutes without Steph, if you didn't watch the game, Steph minus 16 somehow on 40 points on 20 field goal attempts. Butler plus 17 in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is indicative again of what the Warriors have been doing. Now, I think with Golden State, this was a weird game. It wasn't as close as it really was. They were up 10 with a minute and a second to go. Then the Nets had a layup, and there's a turnover, and then they got a layup and an and one, and 10 points is suddenly 5. And then there's almost a backcourt violation, but Steph goes out of bounds, and Nets hit a 3, and by that point, there's 10.1 seconds left. Warriors hit some free throws. It's basically over. The thing from tonight's game is Pods got hurt. Got hurt 1 minute into the game, back issue. And so for Golden State, Pods has been so good for them, Tom, and their schedule's been very, very weak. I don't want to diminish what they've done with Jimmy Butler, but they do have a tougher stretch if Pods is out for any extended period of time. Pistons on Saturday, Blazers on Monday, before 4 games in 6 nights against the Kings, Knicks, Nuggets, and Bucks. So there is a bit of an uptick in opponent quality coming up for the Warriors that I think is going to be a better barometer for who they really are rather than the games we've seen them play so far.
100%. I love what I'm seeing from Draymond and Jimmy Butler, their actions that they have. There's this set that they're running quite a bit where Draymond has the ball at like the top of the key. He's almost got his back to the basket and he looks over his shoulder and Jimmy Butler has sealed his guy and he throws this lob and he gets layups to Jimmy Butler all the time. And that's stuff that you would imagine would be in the off season, in training camp. They would run these sets or kind of find these actions that they can get easy buckets for Jimmy Butler at the rim, but they're doing it already. And that's the thing is like, they've already got this chemistry, very high IQ players, veteran players, championship tested players, and you're seeing that they're figuring out ways to work together, even though they're not 3-point shooters, and they're figuring out a way to get easy buckets at the rim in the half court. And you mentioned the shooting of Steph Curry around the basket. I think part of it is a lot of the misses that he was having around the rim were getting no foul calls earlier in the season. And if you look at the numbers, he had 3 games before Jimmy Butler arrived, 3 games with at least 8 free throw attempts before Jimmy Butler arrived in 42 games. So 3 high volume free throw attempt games for Steph Curry in 42 games. With Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, another 9 free throws in Thursday night's game against Brooklyn. He's had 6 in 12 games. So he's getting to the free throw line a lot more. And I'm wondering if there's like some sort of osmosis he's getting from Jimmy Butler, who's been living at the free throw line his whole career. For some reason, Steph Curry is getting these calls now, and he's now living at the free throw line, much in the same way that Jimmy Butler does. So it's just everything around Steph Curry, not just the
Tom,
percentages.
this is like when the NBA put Austin Reeves at the free throw line 20 times a game a couple of years ago.
Dude, not quite that. Not quite. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're not there yet, man. That was crazy. Remember that? It was like 15 free throws, 20 free throws. It was nuts. And hey, by the way, on that, well, I guess we'll get to the Clippers later, but James Harden with 20 free throws, vintage James Harden. So these old guys are getting these new tricks again.